Battleship Potemkin and Triumph of the Will are regarded to be the two greatest propaganda movies ever made. But while Triumph of the Will mainly consists of boring speeches by men with admittedly funny mustaches, Battleship Potemkin dramatizes a ship mutiny, and is a roller coaster of a movie with muscular protagonists, insidious villains, futuristic gadgets, and it held the record for most footage of people waving until BBC released a 5-hour documentary on Queen Elizabeth II. The movie starts off by introducing us to our heroes, exhausted Russian sailors who are about to join the unsuccessful revolution of 1905 by rebelling against their officers, who are all evil. What makes the sailors go from humbly crying in their pillows at night to breaking dishes like drama queens is what those dishes contain. You see, the sailors are dissatisfied with the quality of the meat they're being served. They bring this issue to their officers, but the ship's doctor assures them that the worms they see are actually an optical illusion. That does it for the sailors, and they decide to not eat anything containing the meat. Afraid that his crew would turn into some goddamn vegetarian hippies, the ship's captain summons all of the sailors to the deck and says that those who didn't fancy the meat obviously hadn't done much work beforehand, so they will be tasked with decorating the ship's mast. Realizing that warships don't usually put up Christmas decorations, most of the sailors pretend like they have some important sailor business to attend to, and leave the meeting. Grabbing an opportunity to dispose of all the idiots in his crew, the captain says that the remaining sailors will receive a surprise present, but they have to put on a blindfold first. At this point, Vakulinchuk, the unappointed revolutionary leader, puts it out there that he knows for a fact that the officers taste a lot better than the rotten beef. The sailors decide to take their chances, and a fight ensues, during which the ship's priest is injured. Now, he hadn't done anything bad so far, but look at him. He's obviously a bad guy. He's not the only casualty though. Vakulinchuk gets separated from the rest, cornered, and dies a hero's death, being shot in the back of the head while running away. Shaken by their leader's death, and the realization that now no one is going to pay them a salary, the sailors come up with a brilliant idea. Instead of giving their leader a burial at sea, they put his corpse on display in the nearest port, and charge people money to see him and poke him with a stick. This attraction proves very popular with the working class, but the upper class say that the corpse is fake and gay. The crowd takes it well. Angered by the elites hating on its favorite seagull bait, the crowd decides to help the now rogue warship by sailing to it and waving at it. Since this whole affair starts to smell a lot like a revolution, the government sends the police to surround the crowd and calm it down by shooting at it. For some weird reason, the crowd panics and flees, but some stay behind to convince the police to join them. Now, I'll let you guess how that turns out. The police either A. reconsider their priorities and, in a scene not unlike that which took place on the ship, join the rebels, or B. keep slaughtering the crowd in a scene so gruesome that I had to make up some pointless trivia question to cover it up. If you answered A, you're a communist sympathizer. Turn yourself in at the nearest police station. If you answered B, you think just like a communist propaganda maker, and should turn yourself in at the nearest police station. The sailors decide they should probably do something, so they fire their ship's guns at, and I am not making this up, the city's theater house. That will teach those lion statues. The sailors also consider going ashore and joining the fight, but apparently eating all the officers and turning a warship into a traveling circus is something the Navy looks down upon, and a squadron of ships has been sent to deal with the rogue Potemkin. so the ship has to leave the port to have a fighting chance. We see the crew preparing the ship's guns and ammunition, but lucky for them, the filmmakers couldn't get their hands on any footage of naval battles, which means that our heroes discovered that the entire incoming squadron has also joined their cause. In a tragic turn of events, hundreds of perfectly good hats get thrown into the sea, and the ship runs over the cameraman. Well, those were cliff notes on the greatest piece of commie propaganda ever made. If you have watched the entire video, you are now an art buff with fine tastes, and are qualified to wear berets and t-shirts featuring communist leaders wearing berets.